Hey, what's going on everyone? My name is Keycaps and welcome back to the channel. Today, I'll be comparing two of, in my opinion, the best mechanical keyboards on the market to see which will make a better addition to your setup. We're looking at the Q1 and K2, both 75% boards sold by Keychron. The main difference between them is that the Q1 is fully custom built with hot swappable switches, whereas with the K2, you do have to have a specific upgraded model in order to get that feature. As far as pricing goes, the K2 starts at $70 or $80 for the hot swappable version, making it a fantastic option for those on a budget or who are looking to get their first mechanical keyboard. The Q1 is $170 for the fully assembled version or $150 for bare bones, which doesn't include the switches or keycaps. Both of these are great options, but what, if anything, makes the Q1 worth the extra cost? The unboxing experience on either keyboard isn't anything special, but I do have to give them credit where it's due. The minimal design on their boxes looks fantastic. Included in each is the board itself, the manual, quick start guide, extra keycaps for Windows, and the keycap puller. With the Q1, you are going to get some additional accessories because it is custom and focused on upgradability. These are more gasket strips and screws, extra feet, a keycap and switch puller, as well as an Allen wrench and Phillips screwdriver. Because it is a wired board, you're also going to get a coiled aviator cable, but we'll talk more about this in just a bit. In my opinion, both of these boards have beautiful designs that will really make your setup pop. The K2 is a lot more compact and sleek looking, whereas the Q1 has a bigger profile, so it'll take up more room in your workspace. They both have the 75% layout, which is my personal favorite, as you get all the function keys plus arrow keys, allowing quick access to media controls whenever you're listening to music or watching a video. While it is a small thing, I do prefer how on the Q1 the arrow keys are a little more separated from the rest of the board because it just makes it a little bit easier to get at them. This is great if I need to quickly move through lines of code or go back and correct a mistake I made while scripting a YouTube video. I think the design of the Q1 is much better and really makes my setup stand out with the white and gray color scheme. This is the space gray version, but there are also navy blue and carbon black color options. With that said, I do actually really like the minimal profile of the K2 with just its sleek gray look. Of course though, it does just come down to personal preference, so ask yourself which design do you prefer and what do you think will look better in your setup. As a very heavy MacBook user, something I've always loved about Keychron is their focus on the Mac user experience. You don't see it all too often, but you get both the Mac modifier and media keys with the printed icons on them. If you're on Windows though, it'll still work flawlessly with the included keycaps. Both keyboards allow you to quickly switch the mapping settings for either macOS or Windows with the slider on the back of the Q1 or the side of the K2. The Q1 feels very premium, rightly so. The casing is made of full metal aluminum and definitely has some heft to it, coming in at around 3.5 pounds. Honestly, the K2 feels really cheap in comparison because it's made of a lightweight plastic and heavy equals high quality, right? But this isn't necessarily a bad thing, especially if you want to be traveling around with it. What I never understood though is why the inside of the board is so hollow and full of empty space. The same can be said about the Q1, as you can hear a little bit of an echo if you knock on it and also when typing. Because of this, it makes both boards rather thick, so you'll probably want to pick up a wrist rest of some sort to go along with them. Keychron sells their own wooden one, which I love the look of. The keys on both boards add a fantastic aesthetic touch. The slight gray accents of the K2 have always looked great in my setup, and especially paired alongside one of my all-time favorite mice, the MX Master 2S. These keycaps are made of ABS, which is a copolymer plastic, so it's not the most premium. They do feel a little cheaper and have a noticeable shine and some sort of greasy look to them after many months of use. Because they're thinner than some more expensive keycaps, they will break down faster over time. But while it is expected for how cheap the board is, for someone trying this out as your first mechanical keyboard, I don't think that you're going to have any issues. The PBT keycaps on the Q1, in my opinion, look much better. They're a lot smoother feeling, and it makes typing on them for long hours a pleasure. The white and gray design looks fantastic, but my biggest pet peeve is that they're not shine through, unlike the K2. This is also a pain because there's no caps lock indicator, so sometimes it'll accidentally come off as aggressive in a message. If you work at night often, this may be a factor you want to consider. As you use these keycaps over time, they're less prone to wear, so while you are spending an extra $100 now on this keyboard, if you do see yourself using it long term, it may be a worthy investment. But with that all said, neither is objectively better than the other. It really does come down to your personal preference. So you may prefer the feel of the ABS keycaps, or maybe you like just the amount of color variations available in aftermarket options. Also, you can buy more expensive ABS keycaps that are of a higher quality with thicker build, so it is more on par with PBTs. Now's the time you've all been waiting for. I went with the tactile Gator-on brown switches on both, but don't be fooled, they are very different. The ABS keycaps on the K2 provide a softer sound, whereas the PBT ones on the Q1 make it crispier. phantom brown switches that you get included on the Q1 are actually custom made with Keychron and are pre-lubed. Additionally, there are screwed in stabilizers for the larger keys like shift, enter, and space to make the key itself less wobbly. On the K2, you can definitely hear the rattle when you're clicking on the spacebar. Because of the Q1's gasket mounted design, typing on it will provide you with a more cushioned feel, but because of that aluminum case, like I said, you can hear a little bit of echo at times. On the K2, if you press too hard, you're going to end up hearing the spring in the switches, which is really annoying when you're just trying to get some sweet keyboard ASMR. Of course, a big advantage of the Q1 is its hot swappable design, meaning at any point you can change the switches if you want to get a new typing experience. Just maybe not the best for your wallet. Not speaking from experience. If you think you'll want to try out some additional switches in the future, then I think spending that extra $10 on the hot swappable version of the K2 is definitely worth it. But just talking about stock, keycaps, and switches, the Q1 no doubt wins my heart. Because I am someone who spends so much time typing on a keyboard, I want it to be the most pleasing experience. I much prefer the feel of the phantom brown switches and the PBT keycaps. Both keyboards come with onboard lighting profiles that you can switch on the fly, just like I did with that hoodie. Sorry, it's just way too damn hot under this light. The version of the K2 I have is only a white LED backlight, but I never minded it. While you do get full RGB on the Q1, because of its non-shine through keycaps, it is really hard to see the lighting unless you're at the right angle. The K2 makes switching settings super easy, as all you need to do is press on the lighting key in the top right to cycle through the 18 different presets. I've stuck to using a solid color on the Q1, but if you do want to change the lighting effects, all you have to do is press FN and A or Q. Then to change the hue, you just need to hit FN and E or D. There's no software for the K2, so you're stuck with the onboard lighting effects, but you can download VIA, an open source program for the Q1. I've been mostly satisfied with my current setup though, so I haven't even bothered to try and go in there. The connectivity of the boards is definitely something worth noting. The K2 allows you to pair up to 3 different devices over Bluetooth, but the Q1 is only a wired connection. This really isn't shocking though, because every premium, high quality mechanical keyboard is wired. This hasn't been an issue for me, as I don't bring this keyboard around at all, and the coil cable quite honestly gives it a nice aesthetic touch. For being included in the box, I'm really impressed by the quality, and it goes along well with whichever color option you chose. It's USB-C to USB-C, meaning it'll work with all your latest tech. Battery life in the K2 has never been an issue. It lasts easily 1 to 2 weeks on a single charge, or I'm probably using it maybe between 30 and 40 hours a week. The battery inside is 4,000 milliamp hours and charged via the included USB-C cable. You can use the keyboard wired if you prefer, but it's positioned on the side, so it's not very good placement, especially if your computer is on the opposite side of the desk. I think this can definitely be a benefit if you're someone with multiple machines who wants to use the same board at different setups. Having to swap the cable of the Q1 between my desktop and Mac is definitely a pain. For the most part, I've never had any issues with the K2 staying connected between my 3 devices, a Mac, desktop, and iPad. One thing that does happen every now and then though is that when I'm in clamshell mode on my Mac, sometimes it won't register the keyboard until I'm logged in, so I'll have to open it up and then type on there and then close it back. Neither the K2 nor the Q1 are marketed as gaming keyboards, but that didn't stop me. For me, I never liked how the switches felt on the K2 for gaming, and the more compact design made it less comfortable. However, on the Q1, the switches feel really smooth to type on and stay very comfortable during long gaming sessions. And to a certain viewer of mine who wants to play some COD, I'm right here. I'm right here. I have no problems recommending this to gamers out there, and for what it's worth, the wired connection will offer you the lowest amount of input lag. When it comes to personalizing your board, it's no doubt the Q1 takes the crown here because it is a custom built one. You can buy new keycap sets for either, but you do need to buy the hot swappable version of the K2 if you want to be able to buy some extra switches. When searching for new keycap sets, it's important to note that the ABS will actually have more color options, and has to do something with how it's actually built, but I'm not going to get into the specifics of that today. So if you are looking to give them sort of a more personal touch, keep an eye out. With the Q1, you have the option to purchase a custom badge for $30 that you can upload a file of your choosing to. I uploaded my C logo, which just completes my whole setup. If you don't like the look of the included coil cable, there are plenty of aftermarket options out there. You can buy a coil cable for the K2, but because of the port placement, it may look a little awkward. Like I mentioned earlier, you're going to want to grab a wrist rest, and the one from Keychron has honestly grown on me a lot. It's this sweet wooden design that really adds contrast to my space. It's made me look into buying some new desk accessories for my updated setup, so stay tuned for that. The Keychron Q1 and K2 are fantastic keyboards that I have no doubt will make a great addition to your setup. Both are built with the Mac's user experience in mind, having both modifier and media keys matching that of macOS, but switching the device toggle will make either work flawlessly on Windows machines. In my opinion, the extra $100 for the upgrade to the Q1 is an incredible value, giving you a fully custom built keyboard that you can tweak to your liking over time. Its all-aluminum casing provides tremendous build quality, and the pre-lube get-around switches give a fantastic typing experience, perfect for those late-night scripting sessions. The gray and white design looks outstanding alongside the other white peripherals on my desk. With that said though, the K2 remains a fantastic option for anyone looking to dip their feet into the world of mechanical keyboards and see what it's all about without breaking the bank. Its Bluetooth connectivity and lightweight build make it much easier to take on the go for users with multiple setups spanning across multiple different devices. For someone currently using the K2 or one of Keychron's other boards, if you're looking to add a higher quality piece to your arsenal that can be upgraded later on, then the Q1 is definitely something you should consider picking up. To those of you who have made it to this point in the video, I want to say thank you. I truly appreciate it. If you want to see more tech content from me in the very near future, be sure to subscribe to the channel as well as follow me on Instagram and Twitter, where I'm sharing some other thoughts and behind the scenes. Links will be in the description. Thanks again for watching and take care.